Okay, getting noticed, a known in, but forget it. Getting noticed, part 1. Real hustle isn't sexy. What I'm about to ask of you in this book is going to take a lot of work and a lot of hustle, and we're only just tackling the social media portion of your business. It's not going to be easy, and most people won't be willing to do what they need to do to succeed. You're not one of those people, though. This is your dream, and you're prepared to fight for it. I see you. Let's talk about real hustle, though. I'm talking about the not sexy part. Too many times when people hear the success story, the I came from the bottom and now I'm here story, they only see the sexy part. That's the fame, the pats on the back, the smiles, the stages, the lights, the money, the toys, the payoff, etc. What's missing in that equation are a bunch of hours, if you're to believe Malcolm Gladwell, at least 10,000 hours, of the opposite of glamorous. I'm talking about downright gritty. You guys, there is nothing, and I mean it, nothing sexy about the grind, even if social media tries to sex it up. The everyday in and out is hard. I'm not even really sure how else to say it. There's not a word to describe it. It's the closest thing to impossible I can think of. The payoff? That's the sexy part, but you're going to have to bet big on the results to make it through the grind. Is your dream big enough to be worth it? I'll tell you right now, for many of us, it's not. We're going to need to go bigger. In my case, when I first started my business, my husband and I agreed on the amount of time I was going to put into building it because I wanted my payout faster. He allowed me to work 100-hour work weeks when I needed to. That will not be the case for most people because honestly, most people are not going to be able to pull that off. It's not a flaw, it's not a knock on what you do, it's just reality. Most people will not wake up at 7:30 and work without ceasing until 2 a.m. because they have other obligations and they care about their kids eating food and getting picked up from school. Some people might, but I'm here to tell you that the more you put in, the more you get out. I'm not saying that working that much is the right thing or a requirement. I let absolutely everything else I loved go during those years when I was building my businesses. Only you can make the choice on what you're willing to put in. It's also your choice how much effort you put into each day, being honest about the quality of the hours you're putting in. Are you being intentional with the hours you have to give? Because if you're just messing around on the internet and calling it work, you're fooling yourself. If you're telling people you're an entrepreneur and you're not sacrificing other things, you're fooling yourself. If you expect to have an output of 100% and you're only willing to put an input of 30%, you're fooling yourself. But don't forget that success doesn't come without a cost. It takes sacrifice and compromise and determination and grit. You want to know what my gritty looks like? It's a house that's a wreck, like so bad you're embarrassed to look at it yourself. It's an amount of mom guilt that could crush a soul. It's getting fatter. It's staring at a computer so long your eyes burn. It's losing massive amounts of sleep. It's fights with your spouse over priorities. It's pressure beyond what you ever thought you were capable of. It's wearing the same pair of underwear 2 days in a row. It's constant noise in your head even after your kids go to bed. It's the feeling that you don't know what you're doing, ever. It's being put down and labeled for your vision. It's taking huge risks and losing. It's putting your name on the line over and over and over. It's taking a lot of blame. It's making choices that could affect and hurt your business if you're wrong. It's standing up for what you believe is the right thing when it's not popular. It's being the bad guy. It's being hated. It's impossibly long hours. It's exhaustion to the point of tears. It's rage on some days. It's mostly thankless. It can be horribly lonely at times. It's not sexy. And then she's got a little illustration here that says, if you expect to have an output of 100% and you're only willing to put in an input of 30%, you're fooling yourself. Okay, it was just a previous quote. You get the point. You will get out what you put in. Scratch that, that's not true. Sometimes you'll get out less than you put in. Sometimes though, you'll get that break in the clouds and your work starts to pay off and you start to hear those angels sing. Something you did makes a difference in other people's lives, and on that day, you'll feel indescribable happiness. You'll get those butterflies in your stomach. You'll be so excited you actually dance. You'll have a perma smile. If you're doing it right, you'll love the grind. It's not sexy and it's not easy, but you will love doing it and you'll be willing to give up what you need in order to reach your goals and dreams. For most of us, let's just be honest here and not get defensive. We need to step up our game. If we're going to be comparing our input to other people's output, we need to get our butts in gear. I'm not saying that because I expect you to be a workhorse. That's not possible, and I don't even think it's healthy. We need to put in good quality hours. We need to figure out what we can give up. We need to be really clear about why we're doing this. We need to pinpoint what derails us. We need to be honest about the amount of work we're willing to put in, and then we just need to go and just do it. Just do it. Don't make excuses. Don't wait for someone else to motivate you. Don't blame other people for your lack of growth. Just work. That's all. Just go to work. If you aren't sure what to do, read. If you don't have a needed skill, learn it. Just do it. Stop with the excuses. Stop telling yourself lies that you're going to be able to have this perfect balanced life while you grind out a winning business. No, you won't. I don't know a person alive who has started a ground-up business and did it in a sexy way. Let's get real with ourselves. Most of us are not busting our butts every day. We're not. That's okay. Let's be real about it, and let's also be real about the ROI, return on investment, we can expect from the amount we're putting in each day. Start here and honestly answer this fill-in-the-blank question. I'm running this business because blank. Second question. Right now, I'm giving blank percent of real, solid, uninterrupted effort to my business. I want to be giving blank percent. In order to make these two numbers match, I need to blank. Now go do what needs to be done. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Connect with why you started this in the first place and put your effort into it. Set your boundaries and stick to them. I don't regret the effort I put into creating a healthy, sustainable business, even though it took sacrifice. I don't believe you will either. Like I said before, the world needs your product or service. We need your perspective. We need you. We're depending on you to want this thing so much you refuse to fail at it. And that was part 1.